If you're not the founders of MAGSOL, keep scrolling. If you are the founders, listen up, I've got some tips for you. The reason why I chose this is because this is one of the first products that I fell in love with after my first time going to Expo West years ago. And I loved the product so much, I got to meet the founders and I got a little travel size gift from them and I used it forever. It lasted forever and I loved it so much that I ended up going back online on Amazon, buying a bunch and bringing them here to Peru. Today, I'm gonna break down their listing and give them a few tips on what they can do to improve. So let's jump into it. The first step in any mini audit is to check on the SEO and see how the brand is doing relevant to the other products that are directly related to them. And if we look at the listing for one of the top direct competitors, one of the great things that they're doing in their content is that they have branded content throughout. And specifically, one of the images that I really like is that they're not just showing the ingredients that are in the product, they're showing how that ingredient helps the end customer. How is the spirulina going to help me? It's going to help me protect my skin and rejuvenate and soothe. And so those are the pieces that we need to connect the dots to help shoppers understand how our product is working, why it's better than the competition, and why I'm paying this $20 price tag for something that's supposedly better. So what I'm looking for is a single stick in the same price range that is also marketing themselves as a natural deodorant. And so in this case, I've selected a handful of brands that are all in that $20 price point. And so the next thing that I did after that is I pulled them into Data Dive to get a quick analysis of the SEO. As you can see here in this example, Salt and Stone is actually very strong in comparison to these other brands. So the brands that I pulled are Pretty Frank, MAGSOL, Malin and Goats, Each and Every, and Salt and Stone. What you'll notice here is that the keywords on page 1 for Salt and Stone are up to 93%, so 160 keywords, which is very strong. These are just the ones in this price range, right? So we're not going after native, who's like a $12 price range. We are going specifically after the products that are very similar to MAGSOL. And what you can see in relation is MAGSOL is only at 22%, which is just 38 keywords. And then by comparison, if you look at the outlier keywords, Salt and Stone has a 543,000 search volume for their outlier keywords at 46 keywords, whereas MAGSOL only has 6,700. In terms of just looking at the direct competition on page 1, this is a very weak score. And even if you scroll down to look at a lot of the keywords that the other competitors are ranking well for, you can see here that a lot of these green are showing indications that they are not ranking well for these keywords. So there's some work to be done here. So that's step 1, right? Figuring out your SEO and getting that locked in. Once you've improved your SEO and you're getting found in the search results, how do you make sure that people are clicking on your product listing instead of everyone else in those search results? This is where optimizing your main image comes in. What I like to do here is I like to come back and look at this search result and really understand what is going on in the category. Through my lens, one of the things that I like to do with main images is understand what are some fun things that I can do inside and outside of my category to get me some inspiration and some ideas. So some of the things that we do at Mindful Goods is we think through, do we want a render or a photo? Have we tested callouts on top of the product? Like if you look here, it looks like there's some text here on the cap, but you can barely read it. If we scroll up here, you can see that Schmidt's has this like no parabens really big. Now, whether this is on the actual packaging or not, we don't know, right? But then you can see the big brands here like Native and Dove. You can read some of their callouts here on top of their packaging. Here, Native is saying whole body 72-hour in this big post-edit callout. So this is not on their packaging, obviously. So these are the kinds of things that you want to be looking at in terms of callouts. The other thing you can play around with is eye candy. So if you have a certain scent, you can put the ingredients for the scent on the side. In this case, the product is lavender, so you can put some lavender on the side. And it's just those little elements that can help you get the eyeballs and the clicks away from the competition. Another thing to consider is orientation and shadows. So you can see here, Native has this like light shadow circulating at the bottom. If you have more than one scent and you want to show them together, if you have more than one size, you want to show them together. If you have the packaging and the product next to each other, as does MAGSOL, what you can do is play around with that. And so one of the biggest opportunities for MAGSOL here is that none of this text is really legible. Not only play around with the orientation, like maybe showing what the stick looks like uncovered, maybe show the cap to the side, maybe show some visual elements of the scent, and then make some of these words legible so that whatever the person is searching for, they're subconsciously seeing it. So if we know that the searches are mostly related to certain keywords, like here it says odor protection or aluminum free, then we want to make sure that those are really easy to see from these search results, not just the title. Because remember, shoppers are just getting a glance and they're looking at things that are visual. They're not just looking at text. that is step number 2. Step 3 is where I always like to look at the content within a listing to make sure that you're doing everything possible to make sure they convert once they've gotten into your listing. Let's take a look at MAGSOL's listing here. So you can see they're off to a great start. They have some product images going on here. They've completely filled the left side of the screen. What I would say when I look at these is it just feels like very generic, very unbranded, a little Fiverr. Because I know this brand and I love this brand, I want more from them. I feel like at this stage, they're doing well. They've got their footing. I want to see like the next iteration of their branding. And you know, I'm a little biased because this is what we do at Mindful Goods, is make sure that e-commerce brands are coming to Amazon with like a very branded look so that they can perform their best on Amazon. But take it or leave it. That's my vote, is that I think this content could be stronger. It just feels a little generic. The other thing that I noticed is on MAGSOL's website, they have some really great user-generated content. There's also really great reviews here on Amazon. So I'd love to see more of that incorporated, not just here in the product images, but actually down here in this A+ content. And the last thing is that I noticed like not too much diversity in terms of the models being used and the scenarios that they're showing. So not just showing somebody putting on the deodorant, but maybe showing like where they would be using the deodorant in different scenarios, right? Because we know that people want it for on the go, when they're working out, at the office. So just showing it in different scenarios, showing it with different diversity type of models, different age groups. I noticed up here there's a picture of a man and a woman, but all the rest of the images are women. So just really appealing to both audiences because everyone can use this. Now for this third step, I dropped the link into a product opinion poll. And then I asked a few shoppers to tell me what could be better about this product. What are the favorite benefits that they love about this product? And then what would maybe prevent them from buying this product? And so I got some really great suggestions. And so then if we look at the product opinion feedback, the top feedback that I pulled from this is that they wanted to see how the product would work and compare to other deodorants. So that wasn't really shown very, very clearly. Another point that was brought up is how long it lasts in terms of the size of the deodorant and the length of like when you use it per day. So one of the selling points that was in the text on the listing was that it lasts for up to a year in terms of the stick lasting for up to a year. And someone said, I would immediately buy this product if I knew that. And so that's the kind of messaging that we can put in the product images, put it in the A+ content so that people see it in the visuals, not just have to read it in the tiny fine print of the bullets. And specifically knowing how long it'll last during the day. Does it last a few hours? Does it last the whole day? Like it would be great to know that if you're buying a deodorant, because that's probably very important to people as they're shopping for new deodorants. And then the last one was that the scents were mostly appealing to a female audience. So that doesn't necessarily mean the scents themselves need to change. It could, but maybe it's just the naming of the scents. And that's another thing that you could actually test and really just tweak. It's not like you'd have to change the formula. So just even changing the name of a scent could help appeal to a male audience. So those are the great takeaways that I love from using a tool like Product Opinion. That is the feedback that I have for MAGSOL, and I wish them all the best, and I hope this gets to them. Take care. If you want a mini audit just like this one for your brand, drop me your link to your Amazon listing in the comments below. Take care.